There's two main ways and an other section when it comes to charging for your projects. It seems like most freelance writers actually charge by the hour, by unit of time, hour or day, but mostly hour. But also very common now is charging by project. So for each deliverable you get, you charge a project flat rate. In fields like journalism, it's quite common to charge by unit of work. So like by the amount of words or by the amount of pages you submit, you get paid. There are some freelance medical writers that are in journalism type roles. Maybe they write news articles, and so they might be charging this way. But mostly for us, we charge either hourly or by the project. There's definitely pros and cons of each option, and ultimately it's up for you to decide. Maybe you end up picking a mix of different types of ways to charge. So some pros for charging per unit of time or hourly. You can make sure that unexpected changes to a project are compensated. Maybe you're working with a client that's always asks for multiple revisions, or they're always asking what we would call scope creep. Maybe you really like them, but they might say, oh, can you add one more thing? And so charging by hour ensures you're compensated for these unexpected changes. And it's also ideal for tasks where you have no idea what the scope or how much time you'll actually be spending on it. A few months ago, a company reached out to me and they said, hey, I know you mainly do pitch decks, but we want to create a huge database of research articles and we want them all to be linked and we want little lay summaries for each article. And is this something you can do? And I was interested in doing it, but I had no idea how long it would take me. And they were not sure either, because maybe it's not exactly what they're looking for. Maybe they want changes. So I ended up charging them hourly because we were pretty unclear about moving forward how that project would ultimately look like. So we decided on an hourly charge. It allows flexibility on the client side. They're not afraid to continuously ask for extra things because they know that you'll get compensated for the extra work you put in. Sometimes maybe the client doesn't even know how long certain things will take. And so it's good for those types of clients to charge hourly, because you can say it actually took me 8 hours on revisions. And when you charge hourly, you get compensated for that extra time. Whereas maybe if someone doesn't understand how much time they're asking you to spend and they're just asking for 10 pages of revisions, it's hard for someone that's not really well versed in how many hours a writer is working on certain things. When you're charging per project, it's useful when you want to make sure that your client knows what the expectations are as far as like how much money they're going to be spending on your services. So there's no surprises on either end because you set out the project rate at the beginning. I think a lot of us like the project rate because there's also higher earning potential if you're able to complete a project efficiently. The faster you get at projects, if you're charging hourly, the project amount is going to become lower and lower because you're faster. But if you keep that same rate and charge per project, you have a higher earning potential. If you're working on projects that you are quite used to, you understand what the workload will be. For example, if someone's asking me to write a grant, I know pretty much how long it'll take me if I take a look at the requirements, and I can give them a pretty accurate estimate down to the hour of how much time and workload it would be. And then my favorite is that I don't need to spend time tracking a lot of my time. There's obviously very good software to track your time, but I'm really bad at using that software. So for me, I don't need to worry about turning on my time tracker to really measure the exact hour or minute that I spend on each task. For me, it gives me a lot more freedom when I'm working on projects. Then there's still positives for charging per word or page. It's encourage productivity because the more you write, the more you get paid. It's pretty straightforward. And I think some clients really, it's easier for them to visualize, oh, she wrote 5 pages, so that should be more money than someone that spent time writing 1 page. And it's good for articles that have a defined length. Let's say you write a blog post that's 1 or 2 pages. It can be a repetitive task. It's pretty easy to invoice for each 1 page or 750 word article. And it's quite simple for quoting and invoicing as well.